Okay, as promised, another episode of Cooking with Tim. And this time we are going to do what I call easy pot roast. Super easy to make, absolutely delicious. So what we're going to do, we have our beef chuck roast, and I'm going to season it up with my next favorite, Montreal steak seasoning. And then we're going to chop up some onions. And Cheatin' Tim's going to use these carrots. Preferably you want to use whole carrots. Cut them up 2-inch pieces, unpeeled. But since these were already in the refrigerator, hey, why not use them up? Okay, and then we're going to deglaze the pan with a little bit of Sutter Home cheap wine. We're going to have to add some beef broth. And of course, the chopped garlic. Some of which I swept off the floor, but I think it should be okay. Nah, just joking. Okay, and then let's see, we got fresh basil and fresh rosemary. So you can, or it's thyme, I'm sorry, not basil, fresh thyme and rosemary. Actually, you can grow these. Super simple. They grow like weeds. And then, of course, our onions. All right, so we're going to get started with this process. And we're going to have a delicious pot roast. And we're going to serve it over mashed potatoes and the gravy from the pot roast, and it's going to be delish. So I failed to mention what makes this pot roast delish is you gotta have one of these. Dutch oven, cast iron, it makes all the difference in the world. All right, let's get started. All right, well, the first thing I'm going to want to do is I want to cut our pot roast in half, or beef chuck roast, only because it will have trouble fitting in there if I don't. So we're going to take this off here and use my handy dandy Woolstoff knife. Cut through it just like butter. Okay, and then we're going to liberally season everything, all sides. Don't be shy. Stay up there. Stay. Stay. Good boy. Okay. Yeah. Mike R., one of my commentators there on YouTube, is right. I need to get some kind of stand or something for my phone when I film this. Make it a lot easier for me. Okay, so now that we got those all seasoned up, we're going to put them back over here. And then I'm going to cut up the onions. Okay, now with the onions, you want to cut them into quarters. I'm going to not show that on the video because I don't want to end up cutting a finger off. So what I will do is I'll cut these in quarters. You don't want to dice them. You don't want to chop them. You don't want to mince them. You don't want to do any of that. Just cut them into big old chunks. So when I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so now I got my onions chopped. I'm going to take the carrots out of the bag. I'm going to make about 3 cups. The trick is to make sure the liquid is covering the meat. So we'll see. I'll just add more water if I have to. So what I got going on right now is I have my cast iron Dutch oven heating up. We're going to sear everything off. I sure miss my gas stove, but you know what? I'm making do. I'm starting to learn this thing. It's actually pretty efficient. I still prefer gas though. And then I got the plate out to set the veggies aside after we cook them off. So we're going to need a whisk. I'll show you why we'll need that later. And some tongs, which I have to clean. So as soon as this heats up, gets pretty hot, starts smoking, we'll be ready to get this show on the road. Okay, so the grapeseed oil is starting to smoke. It is time to braise our beef chuck roast. what we're doing here is we're searing in the juices. Might have added a little too much oil. Yeah, but you know what? That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, get this bad boy all seared up. We're going to sear all the sides. See, that's the problem with electric heat. The pan cooled down a little bit. But like I said, still doing fine. Still doing fine. You're going to find a lot of recipes online that, you know, are pretty extensive. And so that's why I'm calling this easy pot roast, because it's just a recipe that I've done over the years and super simple and quick. I've actually made this a staple for like Thanksgiving, Christmas. And as you'll see at the end, it's going to come out delish. So we're going to get this seared up and move on to the next step. Alright, roast is nice and seared up. Looking good. Now it's time to throw in the cheating carrots. And if you can hear me over this, we're going to braise these up. Now remember, the trick is a hot pan. So we're going to let them caramelize up, and then we're going to add the onions. Alright, looks like the carrots caramelized up nicely. Whole carrots, like I said, probably would have been a better choice, but use what you got, right? I had a bag of these in the refrigerator. They weren't getting used. So let's use them up. Alright. So now we got those caramelized up. See that caramel goodness there? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Now it's time for the quartered up onions. They were smaller onions. So, you know, if you got larger onions, then cut them in, I don't know, eighths. So you get the idea. So we're going to caramelize these up, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, onions are carameling up nicely. So we're going to pull them out. And then we're going to deglaze the pan. Not much to deglaze, mostly because my Dutch oven cast iron is super seasoned. And I added a little too much oil. So as you can see, it came out like nothing stuck to it. Which is kind of a bummer, because you want to do this step when you got a bunch of stuff stuck to it. And we're deglazing the pan. That's where the whisk came in. So you grab your whisk. Get all that up. All that goodness stuck to the pan is coming up into the wine. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Now, you want to add your chuck roast back in. Like so. And like so. Ooh, I don't think I made enough beef broth. Then you want to add your carrots and onions. Okay, we'll go ahead and shut this off because it's not needed anymore. And then we're going to add our beef broth. Come on, baby, get up over the top. Woo, I think I got it. Okay. I'm going to add just a little more water because I've done this in the past and have not had everything completely covered in liquid. And the stuff in the top gets kind of dried out and wilty, so there we go. I made the beef broth extra strong, so that's not going to dilute anything. Okay, good enough. Maybe a little more. Oh wait, we forgot a very important ingredient. We got to add our garlic. Can never have enough garlic. And then we're just going to lay our thyme and whatever that other stuff's called. Rosemary. And then, that's probably enough. But you know what? Just to be safe, pretty sure it's enough. So, as you can see, this is going to be way too much stuff. Food for Loretta and I. So what I'll do is I'll shred it up. Probably tomorrow or the next day. Have shredded beef. We'll make shredded beef tacos, shredded beef burritos, shredded beef nachos. Okay, so let's get this show on the road. So now we're going to cover her up. I got the oven set to 300. Just going to go in the oven. Now I usually figure 1 pound or 1 hour per pound. And if I'm guessing, that sucker weighed up to 6 pounds. Pretty close to it. So this is probably going to take 6 hours or so. You can't overcook this. You can certainly undercook it, but you can't overcook it. So if you're doing this for dinner, make sure to start early in the day like I did. It's about 1 o'clock. So hopefully at about 5, 6 at the latest, it's going to be ready. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the oven. Start cleaning up the kitchen a little bit. And in 5 hours, we'll pull it out and see what we have. Okay, Mr. Pot Roast, come out in 5 hours, nice and juicy and yummy. We'll see you then. Later. Okay, well, it's on to plan B. Because after fooling around with the timer and everything, I inadvertently shut the stove off. Oven. Didn't realize it till about 3 hours later, so that pot roast won't be ready till about 9 o'clock tonight. So saying that, plan B is a microwave dish with garlic bread. So everything will be okay. It will still turn out. Just won't be having pot roast for dinner tonight. So when it gets ready tonight, we'll show you the results. Alrighty, after a minor delay, we pulled it out of the oven. And here we go. The moment of truth. Look at that. Alright. So let's dish some up and get to eating. Okay, here we go. Finally ready to have some dinner. Yummy, yum, 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 yum. On top of that other dinner we had. So I'm going to bed tonight with a full tummy. And I got enough pot roast meat to last me a month. Until next time, this is Cooking with Tim.